Today we're going over the full review of the Arsenal row machine. I'm going to give you the pros, I'm going to give you the cons, give you everything you need to know, and also at the end of the video, I'm going to give you 3 new exercises that you can do on this machine. They're going to help stimulate some muscle growth, going to spice things up, and also are going to be a great way you can overload if you spent all your money on this machine and you don't have any money for plates. So let's hop into the pros first. All right, so first things first, let's hop into the pros. We will talk about some cons and some things that I found that you should be aware of, but let's talk about the pros first. So recently, Arsenal Strength had a free shipping deal, and I've been eyeing this thing for a while, and I took them up on that offer, which was awesome. We got it in, we've had lots of clients that have used it, I personally used it, and we've got some good experience with the machine. So here are some of the pros that I've found on this machine. One, it's a very nice design, it's a smooth design, and overall, the machine just really functions well. The design of this machine works well to where you have a nice easy pull, and a lot of times when you're doing a row variation, say like a cable row or any other variation like that, it's a very smooth pull, and they've really recreated that same type of pull with this machine. Biomechanically, it's perfect to where every rep you can pull and just use your lats, and overall, it's just designed very well. I think another great pro of this specific machine compared to other row machines on the market is the ability for the handles to move freely. So a lot of times where you're comparing it to like a hammer strength piece where it has a straight bar up and down and you can't necessarily rotate in your hand, with this you have freedom of range of motion in your hand, and I think that allows for the unique design to allow people of all different heights, sizes, just be able to use this machine and kind of function the way that it most feels natural. You can target a lot of different angles and different muscle groups because of that, but also you can just move freely and just do what feels natural for you. So I think that's an awesome pro to where a lot of row machines like it have that just straight up and down bar. This one, I love the oscillating handle to where you can kind of just move freely. I have the black powder coat and the black emblem badge. Overall, the aesthetic look of this machine is awesome. I think Arsenal does a great job with their design of their equipment. The look that they bring, it brings like this rugged, hard look, and I think that's the whole idea behind their brand, and I think they really showcase that well with their equipment. It's designed very well. It kind of just reminds me of like a Rogue piece, where Rogue is known for overbuilding equipment and just building it well, and I definitely see the same qualities in this piece and just this company in general. As far as adjustability, also with your seat pad, you have a lot of adjustability up and down. Then I also like the adjustability with the chest pad. You're able to angle it forward if you are a little bit shorter to reach the handles, or you're also able to angle it back if you're a little bit taller and need to get that extra range of motion if your arms are longer. It also allows you to kind of maneuver the chest pad a little bit, and then you can also drop that seat down, and you could do this standing if you'd like to. I personally prefer the seated variation over the standing variation, but I think that any machine that provides multi-use or functionality to just switch up the workout, kind of spice things up, is awesome. So having both of those options, I think, is a great option. And then also just having it be unilateral where you can do right and left is a huge pro, to where if it was connected and you had to do both arms at the same time, I think it's just a better design to have it be unilateral. It's going to help you either focus on one arm at a time, doing some unilateral work, or just have each arm working independently so that you're strengthening the muscles evenly. So we've talked about some pros. Let's talk about some of the negatives and maybe some things that you should be aware of. The first thing that I think you need to be aware of is just the little bit of play and the chest support. When you're rowing, the chest support, there's just a little bit of play in it, but overall, it doesn't affect the movement, it doesn't affect the stability, it does not affect any portion of the movement to make it feel unstable. And that's something that it doesn't bother me at all. I've had clients been on it of all different sizes and heights, and same thing, I've had the same feedback where it doesn't bother them at all, it doesn't necessarily cause any sort of disruption in the movement. There's just a little bit of play in it, and it's really not that bad, it's just a very small amount of play. The other thing that I think you should be aware of is this is more if you're a smaller individual. The way the handles are and the path of the handles are designed, the path handle, when you're rowing back, is going to have your elbow not necessarily tuck right up against your side. It's going to have your arm come out a little bit, which is a great design. But if you are someone that is smaller, it might feel a little wide for you, but there's a good hack that you can do. So one of the hacks that I've had some of my smaller clients and individuals that have used this machine do is instead of being directly at center of the chest pad, you just slide yourself off to the side a little bit, do a single arm row, And that way your elbow is going to be able to tuck if you're trying to tuck your elbow and get that engagement from your lat. Again, does not change the functionality of the machine, and the biomechanics of the machine are designed very well. This is just regarding if you are smaller, you might feel like your elbow's flaring out a little bit, which is definitely not a bad thing. But if you're looking to tuck your elbow, just shift yourself over a little bit on that machine and you'll be able to tuck your elbow a little bit more. I personally think that other than that, those are the two things that I think you should be aware of. Now, another thing that people could consider a negative would be the price. So this came in right over $3,000. Now, one thing that I took advantage of was the free shipping. The shipping was going to be over $1,000 to ship this thing. And you know, freight deliveries are just expensive in general, and weight equipment is just expensive to ship in general. So be on the lookout for free shipping. I just happened to stumble across it, and I've been eyeing it for a while, and I was like, you know, why not pull the trigger? So that's something that people could consider a negative, but my experience with weight equipment, what I've found is that if you buy once, you cry once. And if you're constantly buying equipment that is cheaper, or you're looking for a deal, or you're looking to save, I think that that comes back around and doesn't necessarily last as long. Doesn't mean that if you buy the most expensive piece of equipment that's going to last a long time, but I do think that this machine is very durable, it's built very well, and that's going to help it last a long time and function the way that it should. So at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. I think Arsenal is a very high quality brand that makes high quality equipment, and you're going to get that same level of quality of equipment, and it's going to last a long time. So like we talked about, you have to have variation in your training. These are 3 great ways that you can overload and just change things up, have some variety in your program if you spent all your money on this machine and you don't have money for plates, or if you're just looking to spice it up, create some new variation, because there's a lot of functionality with this machine. You can do lots of different angles and handle grips, but these are 3 great styles that you can continue to overload and continue to throw in your program to keep building muscle. So the first variation is going to be a 1.5 rep. And this is a great way that you can really focus on pulling with just your back muscles. And over the last 10 years as a trainer, one of the hardest muscle groups for me to help people connect with is their lats. It's one of those muscles where people pull with their biceps, with their shoulders, they just don't have that connection. So 1.5 reps is a great way that you can really focus on pulling from your lat muscles and engaging just those muscles. Now, obviously your biceps and shoulders are going to work as well, but predominantly we want this movement to be a lat or back movement. So what you're going to do is you're going to start off full extension, set yourself up to where you want to be. You're going to do a full rep on the concentric. You're going to let the handles come back halfway. Then you're going to complete another concentric rep. And then you're going to complete a full eccentric rep. So you're doing 1.5 reps. This is a great way to keep you honest. It's a great way to limit the amount of weight that you can use and momentum that you can use, and really focus on just pulling with your lats, because you're getting 2 concentric contractions. And this is a great thing that you can do on this specific machine that is going to help you overload, and is going to be a great way to overload other than adding weight. The next variation is a combo superset, and taking advantage of being able to rotate in your hands. So typically, your neutral grip or your underhand grip is going to be the strongest grip on any sort of pull. So what we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of that and do the weakest variation first. So you're going to start off by doing 10 overhand rows where your elbows fly. This is going to predominantly hit more of the upper back, the traps. Then doing the stronger variation, you're going to do 10 reps where your hands are in neutral. This is going to be stronger, but because you've done 10 overhand reps first, it's going to make that neutral grip fatigue a little bit faster, and it's just going to be a great way to stimulate some new muscle growth and just train your back in a different way. Yes, you're going to complete 20 reps, and I would still keep it heavy. Make sure that no matter what rep range you're training in, you're still always lifting heavy for that rep range, but it's going to be a great way that you can just spice it up a little bit and stimulate some new muscle growth. The last variation that you can do that is also going to provide some overload, especially an eccentric overload, is taking advantage of being able to use the unilateral function. So what you're going to do is you're going to load it up a little bit heavier than you normally would be able to. You're going to go one arm at a time, and you're going to pull either with both arms or use a little momentum to get the weight back, and then you're going to slowly lower that handle back. So you're focusing on using a little bit more weight than you'd be able to do with a strict rep. Like I said, do either a little bit of momentum or use that opposite hand to help get it up. You're going to set yourself down, and you're going to slowly lower it back, trying to go 3 to 4 seconds. Now, doing this variation, I would try to keep your reps in that 6 to 8 rep range. That way you can use the most amount of weight possible, but also not doing like 12 to 15 reps with this, where you're not going to be able to use a heavy weight and effectively overload your lats. So This is a great variation that you can add that, again, is just a tool in your toolbox to consistently spice up your workouts, because at the end of the day, if you're never adding more progression or you're never getting better in some way, shape, or form, you're not going to make any progress. And you also have to spice it up, have fun in the gym, and just enjoy your workouts. I'm a huge believer that you have to get some sort of fulfillment from your workout. You may not love doing drop sets or doing a really hard workout, but it should create some sort of fulfillment at the end of the workouts, and you should somewhat enjoy the workout. So these are 3 great options that you can add into your workout, especially using this specific machine to help overload, spice it up, and just create some new muscle growth.
Overall, I think this is a great row machine that you can add, especially if you're looking to get a specific row machine like this in your gym. I think it's very high quality, and I think that this brand does a lot of things well. And I'm very excited to buy more pieces from Arsenal Strength in our gym and incorporate that into our training in the near future. So if you guys have any comments or questions, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. I'd be happy to help out any way that I can. And if you made it this point in the video and you found this video helpful, hit that thumbs up button. And I'm also going to leave some other videos on my channel for you guys to watch next. I post weekly content every single week to show how you can blend running and lifting into your training program. So if you're interested in content like that, make sure to check these videos out next, and I'll see you guys in the next one.